lurkers, and hello archaeologists. My name is John Proxy. I'm having an Aegis Rim 13 Sentinels adventure. I think we're going to go for some double episodes, although that's going to mess up the episode titles. So, we're going to... Actually, I'm not sure if I can. I reckon the only doubles I can do are you and you. As soon as you get to 85, or you actually. Oh no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're getting more people to 85. So... Who yet? Not you. I guess you're last. Fine. So I've only been doing this for like an hour. I don't know, it just leaves me exhausted playing this game now. Right, Keitaro Miura. Keitaro Miura was chosen as a cadet for the secret new weapon. When his hometown was attacked, he sprang into action in his Sentinel. As Keitaro Miura faced off against the American weapons, he and his Sentinel were engulfed by a bright light. He awoke to find himself in 1985 Japan. Keitaro Miura reunited with Natsuno Minami, whom he first met in 1945 and ended up staying at the Karabe house at her suggestion. The scout unit Natsuno Minami calls BJ showed up. Keitaro... What? Called BJ shows up. Keitaro... Showed Keitaro Miura a log from 2188. The footage stated that Yuki Takamiya is Minami's mother. Keitaro Miura returned to 1945 to learn with Diane Tamao Karabe that Chihiro was abducted, which was her final message before she disappeared. After Keitaro Miura heard Renya Goto mention Ai Sekigahara's name, he recalled a time in 1944 he was suspected. Met a suspected spy.
Hero.
Right. What's our mission now? I don't know. We have so many missions. Let's think all the thoughts.
No point in trying to make sense out of his story. It's still too early to say anything for sure. But a scout unit from the future? And it possesses my consciousness? The footage he showed us is allegedly from the future. If it's real, then how am I still alive 200 years from now? All I know for certain is that it's no ordinary scout unit.
So how do the flaps work for this building here? Okay, so they don't completely turn. I'm just looking at the buildings.
Natsuno-san. Get it together, Keitaro. She certainly is quite... Yes. I admit, she's bright, but I have more... Back in 1945, everyone mysteriously vanished. But here in 1985, 40 years later, there's no historical evidence or impact from that event. It reminds me of a concept I read about in a science book. The idea of two similar parallel worlds. Those meatballs they call... I've never had enough. This is no time to be distracted by food. According to the history of this era, it has indeed been 40 years. But this era doesn't seem to be based on the era I'm from. The two aren't connected. Perhaps this isn't really time travel after all. Chihiro. She was acting like a completely different person. Design engineer? Controlling the system? What was she talking about? Chihiro. Even if I do bring the Sentinel back home, how can I bring myself to fight? The ones I swore to protect are gone. Natsuno-san, I'm not sure why, but I really want to hear her voice right now. Could she still be at school?
Let's go!
No point in trying to make sense of it still, but what's happened to her? Chihiro Morimura? She's the original Chihiro? Is there no going back to the way she used to be? Chihiro.
Oh, Miura-kun.
Megumi-san.
You know where the track room is?
Yes.
Oh, right. Have you seen Juro around anywhere?
No.
I see. Maybe he went home already.
To the athletics building!
Natsuno-san's over there.
Look at that guy. I bet he runs like a fireball.
Oh, what do I do?
What's the hurry?
Miura-kun. BJ's gone. I'm pretty sure he's lost somewhere by himself. If he's caught, we'll never see him again.
All right. Let's split up and find him.
Okay. He couldn't have gone too far. Maybe he's inside one of the school buildings.
Okay, then you search the buildings. I'll search the campus perimeter.
Okay, I'm on it. Thanks.
I mean, I'm strangers with this campus, but whatever. Let's look for BJ.
Did you see that flying RC thing?
It went back behind the North School building. Think it belongs to the radio club?
It was all boxy and weird shaped. Didn't look like a helicopter to me.
So it can fly. Behind the North Building. That's where the old school building is.
Were you listening in on us? Pop, 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 pop.
No sign of him. Sounds like rotor blades.
That's a sign of him.
Are you trying to draw attention to yourself?
Yes.
Natsuno-san's worried about you.
Keitaro Miura. I've been scanning for you from overhead.
No point in trying to make sense out of it and still... But, is what Sekigahara said true? Are you... me?
That's correct. I am Keitaro Miura.
At this point, nothing I hear should surprise me anymore. Why do you look like this?
When the world was destroyed, I died. I had to take your place and fight in the Sentinel. In order to do this, I was resurrected as an AI.
At this point, nothing... So you've been using a Sentinel to fight off those monsters. That's what you're looking for, right?
Correct.
Then how did your AI end up in this scout unit?
There was a malfunction in the Sentinel. So I uploaded a part of myself to this drone. However, 72% of me is still wrapped inside the Sentinel.
Does Natsuno-san know that you're me?
We didn't get a chance to meet in the previous world. I'm very fond of Natsuno. It's best that she doesn't know.
If you're really from the future, then you must know. What's going to happen?
My experiences are all from past events.
Past events?
Time is relative. Even with future technology, time travel is impossible. We never travel through time.
But you're Keitaro Miura from the future, right?
I'm an entity that used to be Miura. Before you. I located the Sentinel. I can now access all logs.
So the rest of the footage is available.
Promise me.
Mm-hmm.
Before the final invasion begins, you'll research the logs and figure out a solution. Chihiro Morimura's plan. Operation Aegis. It will lead you all down a path of destruction.
Chihiro's plan?
Promise me.
Why are you asking me this?
Because I'll be gone soon.
Morimura-san.
Is all going as planned?
So there's a fourth
All
Chihiro.
issues have been resolved on my end. 4 sectors are ready for the final phase. The remaining one is at roughly 70%.
Sectors?
Their structures are similar to these colonies. So that's what I've been calling them.
So we'll have 5 sectors then.
I've chosen not to divide them based on orbital positions. Instead, I've separated them by historical eras. I've been meaning to ask, why don't we create a residential district of the present day?
The decision was made to start over. From a time before the world took such a terrible turn.
Before the nanomachine incidents?
Perhaps humanity tasted the fruit of knowledge too early. When it was being decided how far we should go back, we couldn't come to an agreement. So we ultimately settled on preparing residential districts by era.
I've always wanted to live in the 20th century before the war. So this works out perfectly. However, some resources of the era are quite old. Accurately reproducing them might pose a difficulty. I don't think I can do it with confidence.
That's fine. As long as our civilization survives, I'll be happy.
Once it's completed, just one district will be the size of a city. It'll have a bustling population of 1.2 million people.
We have more residential areas than we originally planned. Miss Karabe's hands are going to be awfully full.
I'm sure everything will be finished on time. I have to get back to work.
Understood.
To be continued. Keitaro Miura is unlockable. Oh, hang on. Gone to 87%. I wasn't gonna... The percentages make no sense.
Yes.
I'm not. I was gonna do like 2 at a time, but I'm gonna leave him. Hang on, let's look at the mystery files. There we go, sectors. In 2188, the satellite orbiting Earth had 5 colonies called sectors. Since the residential zones that Keitaro and Miura created for Project Ark are structurally similar to the colonies, they were also called sectors. Miura, as well as other individuals involved with Project... Oh look, we can see the ship. Ark felt that humanity should start over from a time before the nanomachine incidents. However, they couldn't come to an agreement as to how far they should go back, so they ultimately settled on preparing residential districts for Era, which is how 5 sectors were born. Sector 1, facility that simulates the years 2089 to 2109. It is already in ruins due to the kaiju attacks and toxic levels of radiation. 2049 to 2069, already in ruins, kaiju attacks. So 2009 to 2029, already in ruins due to kaiju attacks. It was used as a trial run for Operation Aegis. The self-defense system was successfully activated for one of the terminals here. It's a facility that simulates 69 to 89, still peaceful place where kaiju has not yet invaded. And facility 29 to 49, already in ruins due to the kaiju attacks. Cool. Oh, is that the middle? 1.2 million people live inside it. In reality, they aren't travelling to the past or future, but between each sectors. I knew that ages ago. The 5 possible shift destinations: Sector 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. BJ's true identity is Keitaro Miura from the past world. He is the architect of the sectors, virtual residential districts. He calls them sectors since they're structured like 5 space colonies. Always wanted to live in an era before the war. A former executive of when Keitaro Miura asks her why they didn't create a residential district of 2180s, Miura explains the decision was to start over from the time before the world took to such a terrible turn. She also notes they couldn't come to an agreement on how far they should go back, so they ultimately settled preparing residential districts by era. Former executive of Newman Incorporated and leading figure in nanotech research, she has a research lab in Sector 4, which is a colony that's still under construction.